The broadcast is now starting. All attending.
Good evening. This is Brenda La Paz, Mayor, City of Carrabelle, and I'm calling to order the regular meeting of the Carrabelle City Commission. It's Thursday, April the 2nd, 2020. It's 6 p.m., or actually 6:02 p.m., and we're conducting this official regular Carrabelle City Commission meeting the first time using communications media technology via internet and dial-in calls. Pursuant to the executive order number 2069 issued by the Office of the Governor of Ron DeSantis on March 20th, 2020, municipalities may now conduct meetings of their governing boards without having a quorum of its members present physically or at any specific location, and utilizing communications media technology such as telephonic or video conferencing as provided by section 120.54 in the Florida statutes. Procedures for the public comment will be attorney shortly. The members of the City Commission appearing remotely for this meeting are Commissioners Cal Allen. Are you there, Mr. Allen? Mr. Cal?
I'm present.
Okay, and Commissioner Frank Mathis?
I'm here.
Okay, and Commissioner Keith Walden?
Here.
Okay, Commissioner Tony Millender?
I'm present.
All right, and myself, Brenda La Paz. And our meeting will be opened as usual with a prayer by Commissioner Allen, and then I will lead the Pledge of Allegiance. So, Commissioner, please lead us in prayer.
Thank you. Our God and Father in heaven, we're so grateful that in the time of distress as we're living in now, that we have the right and the opportunity and the grace to be approach you in prayer. At this time, we ask you for any blessing that you could give us, that would get us through this ordeal and take care of those people that are not as healthy as others, but that we might all work together to provide what's best for everybody. Be with us as we conduct this meeting, that we accomplish much good. We thank you in Jesus' name. Amen. 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 Amen.
Amen. And thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States
of America, and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
for
liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Attorney Hartman, would you please give us the procedures to be followed during this meeting?
And Courtney, if you would correct me if it interferes with anything to do with the to-go-to-meeting platform. But what we're going to do is attempt to conduct the meetings as close to and similar to a typical city meeting. Courtney is an administrator on it, as well as the mayor. People will need to obviously speak clearly and speak one at a time. It will get very difficult if people talk over one another. It will not pick up. The meeting is being recorded, and the mayor will simply conduct the meeting if he would normally to call. It'll probably be just a little bit slower for clarity purposes. The public, and Courtney, correct me on this, but the public who is able to listen will need to reach out to you in order to be unmuted and be able to comment during the public comment period, which will follow the reading of the resolution here. Is that
correct?
Okay.
Okay, I thought maybe we would have the public comment after staff.
After staff, I'm sorry. So public comment after staff reports. So public comment will be right after the staff report. So members of the public who are as well, but you will have your normal opportunity to speak.
If you called in, you will not have the ability to speak. If you have a question, you can call City Hall at 697-2727, extension 104, and we will answer the phone.
Okay. I would just ask that everyone make sure when you call to speak that there's no background noise or feedback. And please understand that this is ever to conduct a public meeting in this manner, and with the entire commission and staff participating. And there may be some glitches and kinks for sure, but we will work through it. Please be patient. And we've got to resume tours and some normalcy. So we will proceed with these electronic meetings while necessary. So I want to move to the consent agenda, commissioners, and we're looking at the March 5th regular city commission meeting and the March 19th, 2020 special meeting minutes. And of course, the attorney's invoice for February 2020. So did you all have an opportunity to review these items?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Does anyone have a motion regarding these items to approve or disapprove?
Make a motion to approve.
Okay,
Second.
we have a motion.
Now.
All right. Okay, thank you, Commissioner. That motion, Ms. Keisha, is by Frank Mathis, and a second by Mr. Cal Allen. And any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
And any opposed? And it appears that carries unanimous. And gentlemen, if I get wrong on the unanimous, please correct me. So then we're going to move to public hearing. Attorney Hartman will read a resolution regarding our electronic meetings.
All right. And just to give background, just as the mayor had explained earlier, part of conducting meetings through the use of this communications media technology is that local governments should pass they recommend that you pass a resolution, and that's this resolution. Resolution 01-2020. Resolution adopting written uniform communication media technology, CMT, procedures pursuant to Office of the Governor Executive Order 20-69, providing for severability and providing for an effective date. Whereas on March 9, 2020, the Office of the Governor issued Executive Order 20-52 declaring a state of emergency for the entire state of Florida as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. And whereas on March 20, 2020, the Office of the Governor issued Executive Order 20-69 suspending any Florida statutes that require a quorum to be present in person or requires a local government body to meet at a specific public place. Executive Order 20-69 further provides that local government bodies may utilize communications technology, communications media such as telephonic and video conferencing as provided in Section 120.54 sub 5B2 Florida statutes. Whereas the City of Carrabelle desires to utilize such CMT, conduct city commission meetings, workshops, and all other public meetings, including those of all advisory board or committees, while Executive Order 20-69 remains in effect. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Commission of the City of Carrabelle, Florida, that number one, the city shall provide public notice of meetings to be conducted through CMT pursuant to this resolution by placing notice of the meeting on the city website at www.mycarrabelle.com, city's official Facebook page, by posting on the front door of City Hall and the post office, and as required by law through public. Notice shall substantially conform to the format as shown in Exhibit A. Number two, the procedures for conduct of the meetings including the manner of and instructions for the meeting to be open to the public are set forth in Exhibit A attached here too. This resolution shall take effect upon its adoption by the City Commission and signed by the mayor.
Okay, is that the completion, Mr. Hartman?
Yes, it is.
Okay, All right, is there any discussion or questions on that to the commissioners?
I have none.
I have none.
Okay, may we have a motion regarding this resolution?
To approve.
I second.
Was that Commissioner Millender? Okay, that was
Second.
Commissioner Millender to motion, and Commissioner Mathis to second. Is there any
Yes.
further discussion or question? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, and that motion carries. Thank you. Okay, then we're going to move to the commissioner reports, and we
Mayor?
have Commissioner Allen. Yes, ma'am. Yes, Miss Courtney.
I have a
Yes,
caller
ma'am.
on the line that says that they can't hear us. Is there anyone else that has a problem that can't hear us?
I hear you fine, Courtney.
Yeah, I'm in good shape.
Any of
I
our,
can hear you fine.
any of our attendees that can type in the chat box, is everyone hearing us?
I hear it.
It looks like there's
Oh, here you
24
go.
attendants. And I did receive that text message. I sent her on to call you, Miss Courtney. So, okay. All right, then. Commissioner Allen, your report, sir?
Yes, I have one report, and I had a discussion of police, and he asked me to pass this note along to you all, to everybody. And what it says is that on March the 30th, 2020, we received an email from Amy Mercer with the Florida Police Chief Association. Amy asked that if we had any law enforcement officers that could assist with checkpoint for the screening of the COVID-19 that recently began in our area. Amy said that the Department of Health, the Florida Highway Patrol, and the Department of Transportation is supporting this mission. And they're working actually 12 hours. And as this crisis goes on, Florida Highway Patrol will need support from local law enforcement agencies. And she said that they would prefer to pull the agencies that can drive in and out, if at all possible. Therefore, she's reaching to our department to see, as a part of the FPCA District 10 and in close proximity to the screening checkpoints, to advise if we could provide LEOs to assist. And that's equipment, safety equipment, local law enforcement. Then Amy also said that the Department of Health will be providing the equipment for law enforcement at these checkpoints, and Department of Health is also handling the screening questions, etc. And our LEO, that's licensed, or what are those? The police force will only be providing traffic-related support. That's what our department will do. Chief Huntings has reviewed the CAD activity reports that the officer responded to are going on in March. In January, Carrabelle Police Department responded 209 calls for service. In February, responded to 193 calls. And in March, thus, the officers responded to 263 calls for this kind of service. And so I think we need to support our police department as best we can in helping them do this screening. That's all of my report.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Commissioner Allen. Commissioner Mathis, do you have anything for us?
I have. No, Brenda.
Okay. All right, thank you, sir. Commissioner Walden?
I have nothing tonight.
All right, thank you. And Commissioner Millender?
No report tonight, Mayor.
Okay, I do have a report. I just, it's difficult to know where to begin or where to start. So much is happening so fast, and we're all facing challenging decisions daily, sometimes hourly. But I'll begin by reporting back on March the 15th, my top priority and primary focus became maintaining the health of our citizens and our local employees and all our families. And I requested that City Hall staff and supervisory personnel suspend all non-emergency meetings. And then we next moved to limiting public access to City Hall and directing all staff to practice social distancing from one another in the public. And as this unprecedented nature of the coronavirus attacking our community and our country unfolded, and in order to maintain health and safety for all in our community, the City of Carrabelle instituted precautions regarding public facilities as an attempt to stop the spread of the virus in our community. And Ms. Courtney will brief you all on those measures that have been taken to date under her report. And the mitigation measures are aimed at dampening the spread of the virus in our community and within our city workforce and within our families. And right now, all our city departments remain fully operational and the entire city staff continues to be ready to serve. Now, over the past 3 weeks, I have remained in close contact with the city administrative staff many times a day, close contact with the city attorney, the Florida Department of Health in Franklin County, Franklin Emergency Management, local business owners and managers, key volunteers and leaders at our nonprofit organizations, the chamber, and numerous citizens. I've sent letters to Governor DeSantis, Senator Montfort, to Representative Shope, and several FWC officials. I've had discussions with Representative Shope, Commissioner Bolt, County Commissioner Bolt, and Mayor Bagos. I'm closely following all the communications from the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, the Joint Information Center on the COVID-19 for the state of Florida, and the Florida Department of Health in Franklin. I circulate that information through email blast and on Facebook as appropriate. Now, I would like to say for all of those who see something of concern or have concerns, please report your concern. Please report it to the proper agency. And that would be the Carrabelle Police Department or the Franklin County Sheriff's Office or city or county administration, wherever you live. Franklin County Emergency Management or the Health Department if you have concerns. This is the proper procedure to get the best and the quickest results. Facebook comments, private messages, texting will not result in the best outcome. And I'm going to go ahead and say that the negative and sarcastic and hateful comments are hurtful, and they only get people more aggravated and anxious. And this will not keep our community together and strong. It will, however, quickly tear us apart. We are in new territory and uncharted waters. Our local leaders, including myself and our commissioners, are not trained or experienced in management of a pandemic. We are struggling hour by hour to make the most appropriate decisions with each information we receive. We all want to do the absolute best for our community. Just because it hasn't been posted on Facebook doesn't mean we're not diligently working behind the scenes. Overall, our community, including your local leaders, continue to make sacrifices and to work hard to flatten the curve nationwide and to keep positive tests at 0 in Franklin County. Please be a good neighbor and friend. Continue to follow the recommendations of the CDC and the Florida Department of Health. Stay at home except for accessing essential needs and services. Practice social distancing. Wash your hands. Wash your hands. Don't touch your face and keep up the good work. Carrabelle citizens and those in our nearby community are strong. We have experienced hard times. We know how to pull together, to pick ourselves up by the bootstraps, and to bring our community back to normalcy. To do that, however, each and every one of us must remain healthy. We cannot afford to lose even one person in our community. Please stay calm, stay informed, stay safe, and let's get through this together so we can get back to business as usual and as quick as possible. And that's my report of sorts. And thank you for listening. And we'll move to Ms. Courtney's report, the city administrator.
The installation on the new city hall building is complete. I have given all weather insulation to go ahead to finish up on the soundproofing and the remainder of the building, and we're awaiting that. I have 2 quotes for fencing from Evergreen Cemetery and the Isle of Rest. The PVC fence runs approximately $2,000 more than the wood fence. Good Fence and Good Neighbors was the lowest on the PVC fencing at $20,020. It was $15,070 for the Evergreen and $4,750 for the Isle. Fencing was the lowest on the wood fence at $18,315. $14,050 for the Evergreen Cemetery and $4,265 for Isle of Rest. You have Steve with the 50 years or any discussion?
Courtney, for me, you've been breaking up so bad. I wasn't able to understand really much of it. How about the other commissioners? How is it for them?
She was breaking up for me too, Brenda. It's right.
Okay.
Same here.
All right.
Yeah, that's for the cemetery. We can go with a PV.
Later.
I lost her totally.
Yeah, it's just here broken up. I think that it would be to send all of this information out to the commissioners and let us all take a look. Commissioners, I'm going to be asking for to schedule a special meeting later in the month in the event we need it. And if we want to take action on this, we could do it later in the month if we decide to have a special meeting. How does that sound, commissioners?
I agree with that.
Okay. All right. But Courtney had quite a bit to report and quite a bit to talk about.
I'm assuming.
Oh, you're dialing in now?
It looks like she's trying to dial into the meeting.
Okay, she'll be able to speak better that way. And Dan, I skipped you. We'll come back in just a moment, Attorney Hartman. Okay, the city administrator's dialing in.
Are we still on?
Yes, we're still going. We're waiting for Miss.
She asked if Dan wanted to go ahead and go.
Okay, Mr. Hartman, go ahead and give your report, please.
Okay. be short. I am still working on the request for proposals on the waste management. I'll have that ready, Scout's honor, by next, whether it's a special meeting, middle of the month, or next meeting. We'll get it out as quickly as possible so everybody can look it over. It's very extensive, a lot of paperwork there. The animal control ordinance that we just need to get it advertised properly for first reading. It is in final format. Keisha will advertise that in the Times next week or following. And depending on what meeting it will be heard at. Then the other, we talk about this probably under the agenda item of discussion and possible action, but I have reviewed the exam. We talked about 2069. The other two are 20-89, which talks about the list of essential business activities, and 20-91, the most recent, regarding the stay-at-home order. So I'm sure we'll have some questions and discussion about that as how it affects the city and operations and that sort of thing. But we can talk about that during the agenda item.
Okay. All right, I see Miss Courtney's changed desk. Courtney, I had someone text in to my husband to say that all the mics on the videos, on all of our videos should be turned off, and it would help with the breakup. If we're not speaking, to turn off our mute all of us, and that way the one that's speaking wouldn't break up so bad. Try that while you're giving your report, Miss Courtney, if you can do that.
All right, I will send everybody the information on the fence,
Okay.
and we can communicate on that.
That communication was good, Courtney. I heard it well.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And they heard at the March 19th meeting, Mr. Simmons started this Monday. Mr. Andrews and Ms. Causey will start this upcoming Monday. We now have 4 options for making water and sewer payments. You can mail in your payment. You can use the drop box outside of City Hall. You can sign up for auto draft that comes directly from your bank account, or our newest payment option is the Pay Now button on the city's website at mycarrabelle.com. You can also pay for your building department fees there as well. As the mayor stated earlier, we've taken a lot of precautions during our city parks, and public restrooms are closed until further notice. Currently, our city hall is closed to the public. However, staff is still working. Our streets and roads superintendent is assigning each employee with a list of assignments for the day, and they are working individually so that they are separated. At this time and until further notice, the Department of Corrections inmates are not being let out. Our water department has been separating staff for several weeks now. The water operator is strictly working from the water plant, the sewer operator from the sewer plant. We have 1 employee that has an office set up in the pole barn, and we have 2 employees working remotely, taking phone calls when they are dispatched out. Attached to the governor's order yesterday was a document from Homeland Security which encourages workers to work remotely when possible, and when not possible, for businesses to enlist strategies to reduce the likelihood of spreading the disease, including separating staff by offsetting hours or days for social distancing. The City Hall office would like permission to rotate hours or days also. There would be 2 people working at a time, and the office would be staffed each day while we would continue to work remotely when not in the office. These steps can help preserve the workforce.
And Courtney, this is, I understand what you're talking about, and it's going to be what you're doing, you're asking for staff to work from home some and work at City Hall.
Right.
The reason I'm going into it is you're breaking up so bad. And you want to rotate, basically.
Yes.
And you're saying that 2 people will be on staff and at duty and each day. And I'm understanding that Miss Crystal, Miss Cobb will be speaking on Monday as well.
Yes.
Okay. So I've been thinking about this because you had mentioned it to me earlier in the week. And because I'm understanding that some people are not social distancing and taking personal responsibility, I have come up with a schedule that I would like to propose to the commissioners for city staff. And I would like to see all of the 3 city staff and Miss Causey all off on Sunday. And on Mondays, I would like to see Miss Keisha and Tuesday with Miss Causey. And on Wednesday and Thursday, I would like to see Miss Courtney on site with Miss Causey. And on Friday and Saturday, I would like to see Miss Miranda on site with Miss Causey. And that would put Miss Courtney at home, of course, off on Sunday, working remotely on Monday and Friday, and off on Saturday. Miss Keisha on site Monday and Tuesday, working remotely from home on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and off on Saturday. And Miss Miranda off on Monday and working remotely from home on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and on site on Friday and Saturday. And then you'll have Miss Causey there Monday through Friday, and we have discussed what her duties would do and where her work location would be in City Hall to try to have some distancing. I've got this here in a little, and I can send that to you. But how does that sound to you, ladies and gentlemen? They would
Well,
be
I
able.
think that we had discussed that if Miranda and I worked Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and that she took the water and sewer department, that she would be the only one touching the water and sewer department for that week. And everything could be sterilized for the next week. Keisha and Miss Causey would come in and work Monday, Wednesday, and Friday the following week. And so Miranda, we would rotate that way, but however you would like to see it.
I have discussed this with Miranda because she has grave concerns. So, how recently have you discussed this schedule with?
Before the meeting.
Right before the.
Keisha, Miranda's on. I don't know if you can unmute her. Do you see her on the screen under attendees? Miranda, can you hear us?
Let's get some invites. Right there.
I think we can work out the schedule of these to work out something.
We need to make sure we cannot afford to lose one employee at this point. One key employee that's doing the major workload there for the water and sewer. We cannot afford that. Our water and sewer department cannot afford it. And whatever it takes to make her feel secure and not feel like that she's going to, she doesn't want to pick up any virus and take it home with her. I'm understanding that she's taking personal accountability for her family And want to, sure. So we can just, if the commissioners will let us discuss this tomorrow and work it out, then we, if they don't mind.
Mayor, can I speak?
And yes, sir. Please do.
I would like to suggest that you and the city administrator work out those logistical details and come to an agreement, and whatever the safest for the folks there in the office, that the city administrator and you can handle that business.
Okay.
I'll go along with that.
All right. Thank y'all. Thank you. I will handle it, and I will discuss it with the administrator, and we'll work it out. They will be able to forward their city phones to their personal phones or their landline. We want to make sure that everybody is scheduled on site the same amount of time. Everybody has equal hours, equal duties at City Hall. Whatever their days that they're scheduled for, if it happens to be the day that the meters are read or the water bills need to be printed, whoever that works at City Hall needs to do that and not throw it off till, a day or two later. And we want to make sure that everybody's working their 37.5-hour work week. That staff shouldn't have any interruptions at home. I'm understanding Ms. Keisha's got about 30 building permits coming up for Jordan Bayou. They're pushing forward, and I'm sure Ms. Courtney can help with those permits if necessary. They can both do it from home. So we'll try to the best we can to have some social distancing there inside City Hall. And also, there may be. Yes, sir.
Mayor La Paz, whatever you
Yes.
and Courtney works out, you've got my support.
Okay, thank you, sir. Right. So we'll move. Is there anything else under your report, Ms. Courtney?
No, that was all.
Okay. All right. Let me see. I think we're going to move on now to Ms. Keisha. Do you have anything for us at this point?
I don't, since we won't have any meetings scheduled, I don't have anything to report.
Okay, nothing for the P&Zs coming up.
No, I don't have anything.
All right. All right, then, Mr. Russell.
Okay.
Zenobia.
All right, update on our projects, and please let me know for our FDOT project on the Hill. Plans are being reviewed by DOT. We have received some comments from DOT, but all of their comments are due by April 13th. So as soon as we receive those, we'll respond and move that project ahead. On the Lighthouse Estates, septic to sewer and the water system project, we did receive the survey, and design and plans production is fully underway on those projects. Anticipate completing permitting by September, and construction would begin in November 2020. The phase 2 septic to sewer portion of that project does require a community meeting. We had initially contemplated that being done in June. However, that's going to need to remain fluid, depending on the guidance from state and local governments. Okay, we are getting some traction now for DEP on the brine disposal system. We did finally hear from them. They have promised April the 9th. They have waived the permit fee for that project and some other formalities. So it sounds like they're trying to work with the city to make that happen. On the St. Joe Summer Camp Water and Sewer feasibility study, I'm still working on that. and I promise that I will wrap that up next week. On the drainage improvements at A and 5th Street, those plans have been sent to DOT for their approval since we're connecting to their system. An item that's not on the list, RA project, which is Marine Street, CDBG. We have begun the conceptual work on that, and did I understand there's a meeting to be held on the 21st of April? Is that correct?
With us, Ms. President?
I'm sorry, Courtney, I can't hear you.
I said that would have been our CRA if we continue to have it.
Okay. We had contemplated bringing some conceptual drawings to that meeting for consideration. If y'all could just let me know so we can make sure we coordinate that. Right now, it looks like that application will be due to DEO in late June. So we'll make that date. I just want to make sure that we get in front of the Sky Board with those conceptual plans ahead of that due date.
Okay,
Okay, that's all I have on my report.
all right, and thank you, we'll coordinate the CRA meeting and whether or not to conduct it. We may need to. We had a special CRA meeting. We had to cancel that in March. Mr. Russell, do you foresee any problem, delay with the construction with all of this coronavirus issues going on?
I'm sure that it's going to have some effect. It's hard to know, and some of this construction work is a few months out. So I think to answer your question, I think only time will tell.
Okay, and I was referring to the Hill project, basically.
I see.
Okay. All right, Commissioners.
If I see a delay,
Sorry.
I'm sorry. If I see a delay there, I'll be sure to let you know.
Okay. Commissioners, do you have any questions for Mr. Russell?
I have none.
Thank you, Russell.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. We thank you, sir. Thank you. All right. And then our advisory board, we're postponing our advisory board reports. I can't even think right now until later. We may take them up again under these electronic meetings. We may not, but they have presented their reports in hard copy. And if the public would like a copy of that, you can get that at City Hall. And then we're going to move to public comment. And are there folks on the line that have public comment?
You can type in the chat box on the screen, or you can raise your hand. You should have a little hand icon. You can.
No, there's something laying on the ground.
You can also call in City Halls, down 727.
I guarantee you.
Mr. Clement, what's happening? But we can sure hear you.
Okay, I'm here.
Brenda, you got a question under chat.
Okay. Let me see if I can figure out how to. Okay. All right. I just heard there are opportunities for municipal Russell large. Okay. I heard is that a question? I heard there are opportunities for municipal governments, but not sure of details.
Right. Actually, that was a response. Dan had asked that question to me privately, and so I responded to everyone. So sorry about that.
All right. Keep your private messages private. All right.
All right, we have a question from David Outerstein.
What is happening with the senior center after meals?
Can you repeat that?
What is happening with the senior center and any meals at the senior center?
Okay. So he asked, what is happening at the senior center? And what else, sir?
Yes, and with meals.
Meals. Oh, the senior center meals?
Yes. And the senior center.
Senior Center is a separate nonprofit organization of the Franklin County Senior Citizen Center, and they are closed now for social distancing, and they operate with volunteers. So their volunteers are all older than 65, and they wanted to stay
Thank you.
They don't deliver meals.
Our next question is Dr. Pace. Mr. Pace, can you go ahead? Mr. Pace? We'll go on to the next from Sean O'Shea. Sean, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. First of all, thank you guys for having this because I've not been able to attend the meeting in person. Can you still hear me okay? Okay, great. I just wanted to bring up, there's a Franklin County ordinance that during peak tourist season, alcohol sales an hour later, May 30th through September. This coronavirus and our business being shut down, we're desperately going to need any sales we can get. So all I'm asking is to be brought to the agenda that during peak tourist season, the next May 30th through September 5th, which is basically June, July, and August, 3 months, the alcohol sales would be pushed back. I believe it's an hour or two, just following suit as the county does, making the Carrabelle, the same as what the county follows. So I just want to bring it in. I don't know if y'all can put it on the agenda or how it works, but I just want to bring it up. That's all I have.
Mr. Hartman?
I have been in touch with the county attorney, Mr. Schuler, about every other day to follow what the county is doing and how they're approaching things to make sure that we're moving in a coordinated fashion if necessary. And I can put that on the list to discuss with Mr. Schuler.
Sure, it's not the end of the world. I just wanted to bring it to the attention in case it's a possibility. And again, just during the peak tourist, season, to help our business out, small business.
Okay, and I wasn't able to hear what he said. It was broken up. So if he wants to put it on the agenda, whatever it is, we'll take a look at it. That's all I can say, and follow the guidance of the city attorney.
I can type it in as well.
Okay. All right. Is there anything else, Mr. O'Shea?
That's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for calling in, sir.
Yes, sir.
I don't see any other questions. Are there any other questions? You can raise your hand or type in the chat box.
Okay, Ms. Keisha sent me 3 questions from a lady. Okay, from a lady named Debbie Halma, Halama. She wants to know, how are we going to keep people from gathering? The executive order 2091 of yesterday reads that local jurisdictions shall ensure that groups of people of intent are not permitted to congregate in public space. So that means that if law enforcement sees gatherings greater than 10, they can enforce it and break it up. Otherwise, gatherings, if anyone sees anything of concern, like I pleaded with you earlier, you must report that to law enforcement. And you call Franklin County Sheriff Department Dispatch at 850-670-8500. This same lady wants to know, after the new stay-at-home order takes effect, will any businesses be penalized for keeping its doors open? If so, how will it be enforced? Essential services, according to this executive order, are to remain open. You can see what are essential services on the Department of Homeland Security list of critical workforce. You can also see that list on Executive Order 2089, which includes orders that were completed by the Miami-Dade County. That Miami-Dade County essential services is included in the state executive order. Otherwise, all other services are encouraged to offer curbside service. No penalty is mentioned in that executive order. The executive orders for closures of bars and nightclubs and restaurants call for the Florida Department of Professional Regulation to enforce. She wants to know also, is the city looking into getting test sites open? Or has Franklin County started any test sites? Testing and sites are under the jurisdiction of the Florida Department of Health. The FDOH in Franklin County may have some actual test kits, but I have not been provided any information on this. Call the Franklin County Department of Health to find out your answers to your questions. Right now, as we see on the news, test sites are being set up in the state of Florida in the area of greatest need. And I can tell you from my own experience, a doctor's order is required for testing no matter what site you go to. And so that's all I know for public comment or questions. Is there any other public comment?
I just want to announce that please turn your mics off. We're getting a lot of background interference.
Okay, that's what I had mentioned earlier. Okay, everyone please turn your microphones off.
Mayor,
Yes,
Tamara would like to comment.
Mayor, this is Tamara Allen. I just wanted to say that since Mr. Case was not able to make connections, we were most pleased that the state advisory board on historical markers met last week and voted to approve the first marker for Carrabelle, and that would be the one that you all have seen at your previous meeting. That will be in front of Rio Carrabelle that Mr. Bomay and Michael Pace have worked so hard to get that done. And real tenacity and good work to get that done. So we're hopeful it'll be the first of many.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Tamara. We appreciate that. And thank you to Mr. Pace as well. Any other public comment? All right, then we're going to move on to new business. Item 1 for our commissioners and myself is discussion of possible action regarding special exception at 310 West 9th Street. And Ms. Keisha, would you please give us the information on this, where it's located and other items, what they plan to do with it?
This item was to be brought up before the P&Z this past month, but because we had to cancel it, it just automatically goes before the board. This is the house on the corner of 9th Street and Avenue C. Miss Kat Steiner's old house. They are requesting a special exception to have residential and a commercial zoning. They sent out all their required notices, and I have the list here. But they haven't said specifically. They're either gonna renovate the home that's there or tear it down and build a new one.
Okay, and so they're requesting a residential use in the commercial zone. And you said that all of the required certification letters went out and you received no response?
No response.
Okay. So then we would need to have a motion for denial for the special exception request, a residential use in a commercial zone.
I make a motion we approve.
I'll second.
I'll second.
Okay, so that was Commissioner Walden that motioned.
Yes, ma'am.
And okay, and it seemed like it was Commissioner Millender that seconded.
Yes.
Okay, is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, then that motion carries. Okay, and we have the next item, item 2, discussion of possible action regarding request for forgiveness of rent at 104 Southeast Avenue B, Lulu's Cafe, requested by Donna Boyd. And is Miss Donna Boyd online? Can she hear us now?
I can hear you.
Oh, very good.
Yes.
Can you tell us exactly what's going on at your cafe now?
Well, sales have dropped from town. I just hired a new employee. It is a lot more expensive to pack everything to go. I was having a hard time finding groceries to keep the place going, and a little bit worried about traveling out of town to go get stuff and trying to shop local. But for me, when I buy things in bulk, to shop local is a lot more expensive, and I try to keep the prices down without having to raise them, but it's becoming very hard. And then after Governor DeSantis made his statement yesterday, the first thing I heard was that the only 3 gas stations, grocery stores, and drive-through pharmacies. So I made the decision last night to try and close down for a month, which hurts even more. But then today, when I came into work, there's a long list of things, and parents saying no to being one of those. But I feel like I'm in a position for the customers and for our safety to close for a few weeks and see how it goes, but that causes a hardship. So I'm requesting that forgiveness or reduction of rent for April and may take a break from this for just a little bit, see if it settles down some, and then start back up.
So are you saying, Ms. Donna, did you say for April and May?
For April and May, or maybe just April. I mean, I'm just requesting, you know. I don't know what the future's gonna hold. As of yesterday, he said circumvent, you know, for some places to settle down, people stay at home. But tomorrow, it can be soon to take it one day at a time and trying to plan for the next few weeks.
Do the commissioners have comment on that?
Frank Mathis says if we can help the lady, I think we should.
I second that motion.
All right, Commissioner Mathis, is motioning for the, to approve the request, and we have a second by Millender, it's the Walden. Is there discussion? My comment would be that I would think that we should take this month at a time, or at least we should add, if Ms. Donna does start her business back up, if we grant her 2 months for rent forgiveness, Ms. Donna should, Lulu's Cafe should pay their utility bill. At this point, their utility bill is included with the rent. So, that would mean that the taxpayers are supporting her operation fully.
Ma'am, do you want to excuse me, ma'am, did you just want to do that for the month of April? We'll take it up to the next month meeting.
Okay.
Okay, I think. Can we have then to amend the motion to just take this at a month at a time for now?
Yes.
Okay. And Commissioner Walden?
Yes, yes.
Commissioner Walden?
Go ahead, you there?
Okay, all in favor?
Yeah. Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, any opposed? And that motion carries. We'll look in next month, Ms. Donna.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Now we're coming up on another item, item 3, and this we're going to have some discussion. So I'm thinking, I'm getting texts that we're saying that we really need to turn off our microphones and just let one person speak at a time. There's a tremendous amount of feedback. My husband, he's in the next room, turn off his microphone, and everybody please turn off their microphones, and we'll just try to somehow, maybe I should dial in. Maybe that would help. Do you think, Courtney?
I tried to, it wouldn't let me, but you can try.
We'll try turning off microphones, for now.
I don't have a microphone on.
Did you turn off your microphone?
I don't have one on.
Turn it off. Oh, okay, he doesn't have one. Let me just yell at my husband a minute while we're in the middle of a meeting. Excuse me. Well, item 3, discussion of possible action regarding COVID-19 measures. And we have this on here. We left it open-ended because we don't know what we're facing. All of us have received phone calls about boat ramp closure. I've received one about 4:30 again. I've got people hounding me that want me to close the hotels and motels. I would suggest that we need to schedule a special meeting mid-month. So let me call on each commissioner one at a time to give them input about the boat ramps on whether closing or not. Commissioner Allen, do you have some input on that, sir? Commissioner Allen? All right, Commissioner Keith Walden?
I have no comment right now.
No comment on whether or not you're closing ramps or not?
Don't have enough information to make that decision right now.
All right. Okay. Commissioner Mathis?
I say the only way we close them, if the county closes theirs. We'd be defeating the purpose to close ours and the county leaving theirs open. And that is also one of the things that they say you can do, is fish.
Okay. Commissioner Millender?
Yes, ma'am. What Commissioner Mathis said about being in sync with the rest of the county is important, because if we close ours, and same thing, you've had discussion, I'm sure, and I've had discussion with the city administrator. If we're not in sync in the county, it would have little effect. However, if we close the boat ramps, it would be a deterrent for further outside people to come from wherever they come from, to come to the camp, possibly an infection to us, and that's what we don't need. And life is more important than going fishing. And just like Commissioner Mathis said, fishing is one of those things that are still open to do. So it's a hard decision, it's something important to look at. I have received calls, just as probably others have, about concerns, and but it's something we might want to consider. But I would like to see, again, that if we do it, it would have to be kind of in line with the county, because they have a boat ramp that's in our city. Oh, Mayor.
Commissioner Millender?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I want to say I feel like Commissioner Millender and Commissioner Mathis. It's the same thing. It's a terribly hard decision. It needs to be coordinated and done in conjunction with the countywide, and possibly Apalachicola too, to be effective. We have 5 major boat ramps, commercial ramp in our city, 1 major ramp right next to our 4th Street ramp, and several residential private docks. It is an activity that's included in the executive order for recreational fishing. And but it's worrisome, as Commissioner Miller said, that it attracts people to come here from other areas that may be more contaminated and contagious, and it's worrisome. I wish people would just have practiced self-responsibility and just stay home in their own community until we can better serve them like we're serving our. So if we have ourselves a meeting mid-month here, maybe we'll be able to work this feedback out and better discuss this. Maybe we'll have a better understanding here I want to mention about those that are asking the mayor to close the hotels and motels. That's not something that the mayor can do. The mayor could ask the commission to develop an ordinance that would regulate the occupancy rate there, or for instance, the number of people that are allowed into the IGA. But as far as down this, that's a major step, and I don't know for sure if that's constitutional or not. You could have the attorney look into that before we start closing. Does anyone have comment on that?
Again, you can raise your hand or comment in the chat section.
Is there any public comment regarding any issues with the virus from the public? Okay.
No, I would like to just, Brenda, Mayor, Sal.
Yes.
I would like to, well, I don't know what to do about that. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I think you know. Okay. So commissioners, I talked to Courtney and Keisha about scheduling a meeting, a special meeting on April the 16th, 3 weeks from today. And issues to deal with here. And then I believe Russell had mentioned something that, I can't remember, I'm sorry, Russell, something that you need to bring forth, or Dan, animal ordinance, something, one of you, that we could put on that special meeting. And if there's nothing, we can always cancel it. So what, Commissioner Allen, what do you think about a special meeting on April the 16th?
I would go with that.
Oh, okay, and Commissioner Mathis?
I'll go along with it.
All right.
Did you get that?
Commissioner Walden? Yes, sir.
I'm good with it.
Commissioner Walden? And Commissioner Millender? Okay.
Yes, Mayor, I'm fine with it. Just give us time.
I was gonna ask you, Commissioner Millender, to please give a time.
It's whatever the group's good for. I'm open all day.
My schedule's wide open except for video conferencing. So, day or night?
Let's let you.
There you go. Bye.
I didn't understand him.
I said, let's let
I'd say day.
All right, how about 10:30 in the morning?
That's fine.
That's a great time.
All right, somebody make a motion.
I'll make a motion, 10:30 in the morning.
All right, we have a second.
I'll second it.
Okay, I think that was Mr. Allen. So that was Mathis, 10:30, April 16th, 2020, and second by Commissioner Allen. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, any opposed? Okay, that motion carried. I believe there's no further discussion for now. So I will ask for someone to please call for an adjournment.
A motion to adjourn.
Okay, that's by Commissioner Millender, and that's second by Commissioner Mathis. Any discussion?
Everyone be safe.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, everybody's in favor? Any opposed? Okay, that motion carries, and I love you all. Okay, y'all stay safe. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Good job.
Bye-bye.
Good job, Courtney.
Good night.
Good job.
Okay, we need to try to work out something about the feedback.